low. Am I recording? Yeah, okay, so I'm just gonna, I'm editing this, and I'm just gonna do a table of contents right now, very briefly. Okay. Book. Quotienting. Quotient groups and quotient groups. Number of combinations. And choose K. The Pascal array. Polynumbers. Taylor polynomials. Of ordinary functions. Derivative measures rate of change. Second derivative measures curvature. Here's curvature. I think that's good. That's a I think that's a good length of revelation. That'll probably be about 70 pages. I think that's a good table of contents. All right, thank you for listening. All right, so I got a stream of consciousness type thing going, and I'm not going to bother that by trying to structure myself. So, fuck this. I do want to say fuck this. 3, fuck this. All right. Alright, god fucking damn it, xv dot include body.tech. Alright, let's vs scratch.tech. Let's delete all this bullshit. Alright, this is going to be a part of the book. Chapter. Groups. Alright. I have said that, let's blow this way up so you can see it. 90% of the difference between any two fields of mathematics is in their set wrap definition of equals. Alright, so what constitutes exactly a, quote, definition of equals? I'm not going to fix typos right now. Well, let's state 3 properties. These properties form what is called a term equivalence relation. Okay. Begin align star and okay. And equivalence let's call it R, is one where, let me call it tilde, an infix notation. Actually, let's just call it R, prefix notation. For all A. Begin description. And, okay. Item, the reflexive property. Suppose we have a type loosely defined and now we'll define precisely later T, and A in T means A is of type T. Is an equivalence relation R a relation where he knows relational algebra? RAA equals 1. Okay, let's call A defined as an term equivalence relation item. A given relation is typically defined as an equivalence relation plus some additional properties. We will see some concrete examples soon, but get these terms in your brain. Okay, a term relation means a function on a set or type. T means a function R T to T. Okay. T begin LST listing. How about that? Dash spec R T T 0 1. A term relation on a set or type T means a function. Okay, let's say 3 properties. These properties form what is called an equivalence relation. Okay. Book 1, Groups and specifically quotient groups. I have said that 90% of the difference between any two fields of mathematics relation is typically defined see what this looks like. Symmetric. Okay. Let's examine each of these properties in detail. Oh, that's right. Okay, I gotta stop. I'm sorry, my back is hurting again. Okay, I gotta stop. I'm sorry. Hi there, I'm Dr. AJ Kumar, PhD. Let's see how long I can go working on this before my back gives out again. Alright. So I renamed it. It's now called Calculus for White People because it's going to be a more general thing. Okay. So, let me read what I wrote yesterday. Definition of equals is an equivalence. Okay, I'm gonna quit trying to do weird notation and do standard math notation. I've said that 90% of the difference between any two fields of mathematics is in their definition of equals. Alright, so what exactly is a definition of equals? Fields given, well, let's start with something called an term equivalence. Relation is means a function R, the following three properties. Is generally about founder has told us that So let's instead focus on, let's suppose that we have some object. Talk about an equivalence class. These are let's focus our attention for a moment in a slightly different direction. Let's instead think about termed equivalence class, which is a class of things that are equivalent with respect to it. The field of algebraic topology, I'll term homotopy. Homotopy. I better be using residue, right? God damn it. My usage is close enough. I'm defining my own type of math. I can use my own terms. Okay. Is an equivalent. Generally, a branch of math starts with a relation. Modular arithmetic is a good idea. Okay. Little gamma of transformations. No. Some other type of transformation. Do that. I don't really care about the syntax highlighting, but sometimes it chimps out on the Erlang syntax. And so if I give it language equals Erlang, it knows about the Erlang syntax.
interesting one to explain.
So,
You want to start? Do you want to get into this?
yeah, sure. So I was on Reddit, Twitter and Reddit is the same thing, my boomer ass. So I was on Twitter and I was talking to my friend Inti while we were talking to him in our group chat. And Inti is a Uyghur that lives in America. Yeah, he's a Uyghur as well.
Yeah, an actual one.
He's an activist. He's a Uyghur activist. That is Uyghur.
Yeah.
Anyway, he was talking to us about some stuff he was finding. If you would filter out certain key phrases. Now,
Yes.
I apologize if you've already seen my video on Lawai 86, this one we just did. It's about this, but I brought it up on here because there's a resolution to what happened.
Yes.
So there were thousands and thousands and thousands of accounts posting new Uyghur propaganda. Exactly the same as if you guys remember before we covered. Oh yeah, I mean you could just see it in the background, yeah. But these videos that were angry saying like, shut up Mike Pompeo, there is no forced labor in Xinjiang. Well, they did it again, and they posted thousands of clips basically saying, shut up H&M, there's no forced labor and forced cotton picking here in Xinjiang.
But the interesting thing is that all of these accounts, the majority of them, and there was literally hundreds and hundreds of thousands of them, they're all new. They're all made like in the last month or so, most of them.
Yeah.
Some of them were old accounts that had obviously been hacked or co-opted somehow.
Yes.
But they were all just very empty accounts, and they just suddenly all posted the same
Exact same stuff. Yeah.
Exactly.
So, you know, I put out the video and I just wanted to show the resolution, which is about to show up here. All of these accounts, when I was going through, most of them, like you said, were these new accounts, and then some of them are these, I think, hacked accounts, because a lot of them were European accounts that stopped posting in 2016.
Yeah, so abandoned. They were probably abandoned, had very bad security, or somebody could claim them, you know. You can sometimes claim that it's my account, you have to prove something. They probably have a way of doing that. If it's been abandoned. Anyway, they were all just posting the exact same propaganda things. Like, oh, there's no forced labor. Look how happy the Uyghurs are. You know, show like.
They were getting forcing Uyghur people to say this on camera, like they did the first time.
With English subtitles.
With English subtitles, and that's the irony, is that this was made for you, as an English speaker, to understand and see. These were put out.
This ridiculous propaganda junk that they do all the time, and they have those bot farms. We've seen them. We've shown them before. They've got like thousands of cell phones there. And they've got like one person operating hundreds of phones at a time. Just, you know, but take a look what happened. Yeah.
Alright, I'm gonna go out for a walk and think about some stuff, and then I'll come back. Sun's about to go down, so I want to go get a walk in. Alright, I'll see you in a little while. Bye. Alright, so what I decided, I'm gonna sort of apply my recording, is I'm gonna apply the sort of agile development idea. Go away, OBS. And instead of trying to write everything all at once, let me summarize the arc of the story. Let me let me not specify where the figure needs to go. Okay. Let's see. Actually, let me just undo the changes I just did. And uh-oh. And then what I'm going to do is, first of all, let's move each of these to right after this paragraph. And then let's delete this H thing and see if that has any effect. Does that do anything? Huh. That's interesting. I like this better, where it's just, here we go. I like the H better where it doesn't. Let's just do this. Okay. Section. The general outline. The arc of our story. If you look at the table of contents, you will, and you know the subject, calculus, you will probably have an eyebrow raised at the order of presentation. Fuck that. How am I going to say this? Okay. The path we're taking is a bit non-traditional, but it will make sense. Okay. We're first going to dive into some basic group theory. This is totally unnecessary. This is totally unnecessary. I could give this presentation without using group theory. However, group theory, a useful tool, general, and is going down the line, an essential tool in your repertoire. An essential an essential tool set to have in your mathematical repertoire, and it can be used to illustrate. We're taking a long journey here, not skipping to. We're going to pull over and sightsee, take the scenic route when we're going to pull over and sightsee when there's a shiny object. We're taking the scenic route. We're taking the scenic route. We're going to pull over and sightsee when there's a shiny object. We might even... Should I make a Deliverance reference? I haven't seen the movie in a while, so I don't remember. I'm not going to be able to make a good reference. Comment. Insert Deliverance reference. Okay. I have to go rewatch the movie to come up with a good reference. We're going to pull over and sightsee when there's a shiny object. We're going to pull over and sightsee when there's a shiny object. And we're going to see... We're going to learn... We're taking a tour... We're taking a guided tour of... We're trying to learn the landscape to explore the map, illustrate the way the landscape works. We're exploring the map, seeing the way the landscape works, how the map ties into itself. We're not doing some short path to get from A to point B. We're taking the scenic route. We're gonna pull over and sightsee when there's a shiny object. We're exploring the map. We're seeing the way the landscape works, how the map ties into itself. We're not doing the shortest path, point A to point B. Okay? This is the right way to learn something. I am assuming you are reading this because you are interested, not because you are in a hurry. Hurry. We're exploring. Trying to build a model in our head. We're not doing the shortest path to get from point A to point B. I am assuming you are reading this because you're interested in learning about math. Math, not because you are in a hurry. Okay. We're exploring. Alright. We're going to start with group theory. This is totally unnecessary. I could give this presentation without using group theory. However, group theory, and it can be used to is an incredibly powerful reasoning tool. We're going to see different applications of group theory, one of which is counting is basic combinatorics. That is the one theory item. One of which, here's the outline. Here's the rough trip plan. We're first going to dive into some basic group theory. This is totally unnecessary. I could give this presentation without using group theory. However, group theory is, going down the line, an essential tool set to have in your mathematical repertoire, and in particular, it is it gives a nice, pleasant way to reason through some problems that we're going to face. Okay, we're going to see a variety of different applications of group theory, one of which is basic combinatorics. That's the application that matters. Questions like, we're going to use group theory to answer questions like, how many 5-card poker hands are there that contain exactly 2 aces? We're going to see how to use this is the application that matters of group theory. Matters for our purposes. We're then going to take a couple detours. Our stages are group theory, combinatorics, polynumbers, and then combinatorics, polynumbers, then calculus. Leads to combinatorics, leads to polynumbers, leads to calculus with polynumbers. Calculus with polynumbers. And group theory is an incredibly powerful reasoning tool set. We're going to see a variety, one of which is basic combinatorics. We're going to see how to use group theory to answer questions like, How many 5-card poker hands are there that contain exactly 2 aces? That is the application of group theory that matters for our purposes. We're then going to take a couple of detours in the combinatorics. Okay, so groups, and quotienting. Okay, right, okay. Groups. Yeah, okay. Yeah. We're going to see how to use group theory to answer questions like how many 5-card poker hands are there. I'm going to take a couple of detours in the combinatorics act. Specifically, we'll see some of its applications in probability theory and statistics. Or in probability theory, really. And this is meant for somebody who is not meant for someone who is more or less a noob in mathematics and wants an interesting story. If you're an experienced, if you're a math PhD, most of the early stuff will be obvious, and you can probably skip to the last act. Most of the early stuff will be obvious. It's math. Well, it's an interesting story. We're going to survey. We're surveying to see an interesting story. We're going to survey a lot of stuff that is mathematical common knowledge, if that makes sense. Much in the same way, that everyone in computing is familiar with, that pretty much everyone in the computing world has at least a passing familiarity with regular expressions. Pretty much everyone in mathematics has a passing familiarity with the early concepts in this revelation. Has at least a passing computing world with regular expressions, regular, what are some things? Passing familiarity with regular expressions, HTML, shell scripting, Python, object-oriented programming. No. Trying to think of like things that are not core ideas in computing. And regular, just kind of like little side things. Regular expressions, recursion, and this is a bad analogy. Regular expressions is like the perfect level of, this isn't an essential thing, but it helps a lot. Regular expressions, shell scripts, and HTML and basic HTML. Pretty much everyone in the computing, by analogy, pretty much everyone in the computing world has at least a basic foot with a few things that are not core topic. Say, regular expressions, shell scripts, and basic HTML. A passing familiarity would say regular expressions, shell scripts, and basic HTML. Has at least a passing familiarity with group theory, combinatorics, probability, group theory, combinatorics, probability, and calculus. Polynomial, arithmetic, and calculus. Everyone in probability. These aren't essential. Is this, let me just comment this out. We're exploring the math. Fuck, math PhDs aren't reading this. We're exploring the math, seeing the way the landscape works, how the map ties into itself, trying to build a model in our head to see the big picture. We're not doing the shortest path to get from point A to point B. I'm assuming you're reading this because you're interested in learning about math, not because you're in a hurry. Here's a rough trip plan. Here. Okay. This is what we're doing. We're taking the scenic route here. taking the scenic route. We're not skipping straight. We're not going straight to the end. We're going to pull over and sightsee when there's a shiny object. This is meant for someone who is more or less a noob in mathematics and wants to see an interesting story. We're going to survey a lot of stuff that is mathematic. By analogy, pretty much everyone in the computing world has at least a passing familiarity with, say, pretty much group theory, combinatorics, probability, circuit, electromagnetism, pretty much everyone in mathematics has at least a passing familiarity with group theory, combinatorics, probability, electromagnetism. What else are we going to talk about? And linear algebra. That's not a great analogy, by bad analogy. By C tier analogy. We're exploring the map, seeing the way the landscape works, how the map ties into itself, trying to build a model in our head to see the big picture. We're not doing the shortest path to get from point A to point B. I'm assuming you're reading this because you're interested in learning about math, not because you are in a hurry. Here's the rough trip plan again. Group theory, to combinatorics, to polynumbers, to calculus with polynumbers. Alright. We're first going to dive into some basic group theory. This is totally unnecessary. I could give this presentation without ever referencing group theory. But that would be boring. And this is for, that would be boring. And group theory, going down the line, group theory is an essential tool set to have in your mathematical repertoire. It is at the core of many different. And in particular, it gives us a nice, pleasant way to reason through some problem. Reason through things, so through problems that we're going to face in our journey. We're going to see a variety of different applications of group theory, one of which is basic combinatorics. We're going to see how to use group theory to answer questions like, how many poker... That is the application of group theory. We're then going to take a couple of detours in the combinatorics act. For instance, we will use group theory to some group theory to solve a circuit. Solve a circuit. Yeah, I like this. We're going to see a variety of different applications of group theory, one of which is basic combinatorics. So stick to the main points right here. We're going to see how to use group theory to answer questions like, how many 5-card poker hands are there that contain exactly 2 aces? This is the application of group theory that matters for our purposes. We're then going to take a couple detours in the combinatorics act. Specifically, we'll see some of its applications in probability theory. That alone is reason to talk about it. In particular, it gives us an... And there's no reason... Giving this presentation this is good. Giving this presentation without group theory is like skipping through the plot in a porno. It's like skipping through the dialogue in a porno. Would be like skipping through the... Would be like making pornography that doesn't have a plot. Would be like making pornography that doesn't have a plot. We're going to see a variety of different applications of group theory. We're going to see a variety. We're going to see how to use group theory to answer questions like how many 5-card poker hands are there that contain exactly 2 aces. This is the application of group theory that matters for our purposes. B1-groups.tech. Okay, you can't put underscore. Okay, chapter. Okay, book. After this, we're going to see some combinatorics. This, we're going to see some polynumbers. Some calculus. Some calculus. Okay, so actually, we're going to say a gentle introduction. To QAnal. Getting started with QAnal. It needs to be better. I'll leave that title for now, but Calculus for White People will be one of the books. Alright. Probability theory. After this, one the application of combinatorics that will matter for us is usage case. It is simplifying is simplifying polynumber is giving us some shortcuts in polynumber arithmetic. Polynumber, we're going to see a lot of stuff with polynumbers. A lot of cool stuff with polynumbers. But what we care about, and specifically, for instance, we're going to see a variety of different applications of group theory. Specifically, group theory can help us, and group theory provides a nice way to think about detour. Specifically, we'll then take a few detours in the Combinatorics Act, and spend quite a lot probability theory. Specifically, there's a lot of there's one application. Okay. We'll spend a lot of time about probability theory. Specifically, okay, and so instead of book, let's call it an act. Okay. And let's instead call it a part. Book is fine. How do you change what something is called? We'll work on that. I want it to say act instead of book, basically. The specific, however, the application that is giving us some shortcuts in polynumber arithmetic, we'll see a lot of cool stuff with polynumbers and geometry. Specifically, we're going to talk about approximating polynumbers with polynumbers of lower order. So we'll talk about I have this book called Dynamics, Statistics, and the Projective Geometry of Galois Fields. And I think Wildberger's Explore Research Level Maths book is about this, is this type of thing. So I wanna maybe spend, it's 76 pages. It was allegedly given as a presentation to high school students in the Soviet Union. So Arnold was a troll. I like that guy. Approximating polynomials, polynumbers with polynumbers of lower order. This is what preanal is. About locally approximating polynumbers with polynumbers of lower order. This is called calculus. The laws of the universe are written with calculus. All right. I'm going to take a break. This is calculus for white people. We're going to talk about locally approximating polynumbers with polynumbers of lower order. This is preanal. All right. All right, that's a good outline of this. I'm happy that I've done this outline. Okay. And let me... Okay. Introduction. Groups. This was going to be a short thing, and then I'm like, you know what? It'll be more fun if we go. We're not skipping straight to the end. We're going to pull over and sightsee when there's a shiny object. This is meant for someone who is more or less a noob in mathematics and wants to see an interesting story. We're going to survey a lot of stuff that is mathematical common knowledge, seeing how the map ties into itself, trying to build a model in our head to see the big picture. We're not doing the shortest path to get from point A to point B. I'm assuming you're reading this because you're interested in learning about math, not because you are in a hurry. Here's the rough trip plan again: group theory to combinatorics to polynumbers to calculus with polynumbers. We're going to dive into some basic group theory. This is totally unnecessary. I could give this presentation without ever referencing group theory, but that would be boring. Going down the line, group theory is an essential tool set to have in your mathematical repertoire. Group theory is an incredibly powerful reasoning tool set. In particular, it gives us a nice, pleasant way to reason through some problems that we're going to face in our journey. Giving this presentation without group theory would be like making pornography that doesn't have a plot line. We're going to see a variety of different applications of group theory. Specifically, group theory provides a nice way to think about basic combinatorics. We're going to see how to use group theory to answer questions like, how many 5-card poker hands are there that contain exactly 2 aces? This is the application of group theory that matters for our purposes. We're then going to take a few detours in the Combinatorics Act. We'll spend quite a lot of time talking about probability theory. However, the application of combinatorics that will matter for us is giving some shortcuts in polynumber arithmetic. We'll see a lot of cool stuff with polynumbers. Specifically, we're going to talk about locally approximating polynumbers with polynumbers of lower order. This is preanal. Alright. There's 4 acts, I guess? I was thinking there were 5. Okay, and we'll call this QAnal. Calculus for white people. Preanal. Calculus for white people. I like this. And I'm going to try to give a lot of diagrams back is hurting. I'm gonna sit down for a minute. I want to draw the thumbnail for this. My back is hurting. I'm gonna sit down for a quick second. Stop recording. All right, I'm back. I think what I need to do is just like every half hour go walk a little bit. Let me set a timer. For 30 minutes. And in 30 minutes I'll go walk. I'll go do a little walk. Then I'll feel better. Okay. So I want to do like a thumbnail to illustrate these ideas. So not in QAnal. In pre-anal. Group theory. Okay. Okay. Then. Okay. I'm going to draw a big frame. And I can view it as a thumbnail like this. Okay. Okay. So there's 4 acts. So our starting point, we're gonna go through a maze. Okay, that's what I'm gonna draw it as a maze. Okay. Okay. Let me draw a little box, like a Candyland game. Now give myself more of a margin. Start. Need to be more legible. Oh, you get to play as Tad the Frog. Let me try drawing a frog. Tad the Frog. Then this square. Okay, and then this start, I need to make this a lot thicker. Nope. Nope. What brush am I using? Did it change the fucking brush on me? God damn it. It did! Motherfucker. Let's use the calligraphy. How about that? It's the calligraphy one. Here we are. Nah. Maybe try the pen. Capora. No, just the marker. Let's just make it thicker. That sucks. You know what? Let's not. I'm spending way too much time on this. Okay. Maybe I need to draw it like from the perspective of a thumbnail. Okay, we're gonna start here. Is equal to nx to the n minus 1. Why? This is our starting point. Okay, and then Act 1, group theory. And then let me just in really small put the axioms for a group. There exists E in the group. So it's the closure property, the associativity property. For all x in G, there exists x inverse in G such that God, what the fuck? To Act 1, which is group theory. Oh my goodness. And then let me draw a picture. How do you draw a torus? Oh, that's right. You draw it like... I need to go sit down. Thumb. Alright, I need to sit down again. Did I just turn on the recording, or has it been going this whole... Yeah, I just turned it on. Okay. Is the microphone working properly? That's the real question. Yes. Okay. Okay, and then Act 3, Act 2 is combinatorics. This may be revised later. Actually, let me write it in math notation. N choose k is equal to n factorial divided by k factorial times n minus k factorial. Act 2 is combinatorics. What are some other formulas I can write in here? Oh, let me try drawing it as a tree. The number of leaves, what did I call it, is the product what did I call it, the splititude or something like that. It was forkitudes. The product of the forkitudes. All right. And let me just draw a card for the empty space. Oh, I know a great troll. This is going to be king, the king of diamonds. And then rotate. Is this worth... Let's make it red. No, I'll be the ace. Should I be the ace of diamonds? When we need to rotate by 100. That's close enough. Pen. I'm just going to go up here and do diamonds again. The ace. View, reset. Set rotation. Okay. And we're going to add an image. Where? Ooh, oh my God. Ow. Oh. Hey, copy. And we want to, maybe it'll be a lot easier to layer. Is this really worth it? Yeah, this is stupid. Not worth it. Okay. I'm just gonna write in very lazily. There, that'll work. The founder.jpg. Okay, and then Act 3. Alright, I'm running out of space. So Act 3 will have to be small. And that'll be in green. Bowling. polynumbers. And then I'm just going to write something really simple here. Alpha equals 0, 1. Beta is equal to 0, 1. Alpha plus beta is equal to 0, 1, 1. Alright, thank you, phone. Oh my gosh, let me sit down. I'm going to try, the chair is a non-starter, but what I'm going to try is an exercise ball. See if that is better. Ooh. Oh my gosh. Goodness. Oh my God. All right, let's do oh, you know what I should draw up here is the Pascal Triangle. That's what I should draw. Fuck this card nonsense. I like that though, actually. Let me draw the Pascal Triangle. 1, 1. Okay, I have it here. Oh, you know what? Let me draw it. One, 4, 4, 1. The number of leaves is the product of the forkitude, limits to the bell curve distribution. alpha plus beta cubed. We can just read this off of the, this is equal to 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 3. That's right. Pascal array. Okay. Zero, 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 0, 1. And this is going to be 4. That's right. 4, 0, 0, 0, 0, 6, 4, 0, 1. That's right. You just read off rows in the array. And then up here, I guess in this color, we'll do act 4 act oh, in white. That's better. Preanal. This is not great. You know what? This is a good enough thumbnail. Tangents, derivatives, and I'm just going to write the word derivatives because that's fine. order of precision, derivatives, integrals. Yeah, and that makes sense that the whole thing is leading up to pre-anal. And then it gets shoved into the little corner here. Integrals, polynumbers, group theory, combinators, combinatorics, polynumbers, pre-anal, tangent, order of precision, integrals. Let's draw Newton. And let's draw the apple falling on his head. I. Newton brain damage incident. Oh, here, you know what? I'll draw this as the sun, and let's instead, let me make this green. This is a complete lie. I'm not going to talk about why I might have much. And then let me draw the tree around Newton. And let's just draw some apples on the tree. The Isaac Newton brain damage incident, which led to calculus. Okay, this is a good thumbnail. Okay. Oh my goodness. Okay. And what I'm going to do okay, and then what's its no prop. I want it to be 16 by 9. God damn it. Image. Canvas size. Um, 1,000. Nope. Reset. $4,000 center. Okay, and we're going to add a new layer, fill with background color. Alright, here we go. $169. Okay, and then image, rescale, 1280. There we go. Three from 1280. Okay. CPQ. 3 thumb 69. SRC Rev 023. Include images. QAnal 3 thumb 1280.png. Oh my God, my back. Ow. Alright. I'm almost done. I'm gonna give in and go get not a chair, but tangent. I wish I had been smarter about how I use my space, but as I there. Okay, that's a good enough. Starting to outline our chart. Okay. My God. See ya. Next video.